Earning more money, losing weight, getting fitter, or getting a tertiary qualification don't happen in a day. Many worthwhile achievements happen after you form habits. People don't achieve great things in life, they form habits, and those habits make them achieve great things in life. Let's look at how we can form these habits much easier. Bad habits feel good immediately, but we usually don't feel good about them in the long run. Inversely, good habits feel bad now, but feel good in the long run. Eating a lot of junk food feels good immediately, since the food tastes good. In the long run though, your health will be negatively affected. Then you won't feel so good about yourself. Inversely, if you try developing a habit of going to the gym, it doesn't feel good. In the long run though, you'll be more productive and live a healthier life. Then you'll feel good about yourself. I remember exactly how I started reading more books a year. I started with reading a page a day. I then put books on my TV stand, coffee table and bedroom. I would reward myself with buying educational videos and takeaways after a consistent month of reading. The next step I took was to pick books with topics I liked, like productivity. Rewarding myself with books I liked made me read more than a page a day. This is because I found pleasure in gaining and applying the particular knowledge. The next step to maintaining the habit was to associate myself with the habit. So, I told my friends and colleagues that I summarize books, since I have the books, the knowledge and the understanding. If you are not fit and start going to the gym, you might be surprised that there's no difference after your first day. Nor the second. You'll need to be consistent for weeks and months in order to see visible results. At times, you don't even see these results, you just live longer. This can be disheartening, but there's a trick to get around that. If you want more money, you might be surprised that, after a day of writing business proposals or working more for a promotion, you don't receive the expected extra money. You probably get the idea. Great achievements usually don't come in a day or week. They come after a while of consistently performing good habits. Since good habits are hard to form, this book helps with forming small habits which lead you to forming bigger habits. These bigger habits produce great achievements. Let's look at 4 stages of habit formation. The first stage is noticing. Use implementation intentions. Give details to the habit you want to form. If you want to join the gym, don't merely say you want to join the gym. Mention explicitly that you want to go to the gym for an hour, 3 times a week, on a Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, and a Friday morning, for example. The detail matters. There can be hindrances to your plan of action. So, you can start going to the gym, but stop after 2 weeks. A plan to combat these hindrances is to imagine you've gone to the gym for a year and failed. Then ask yourself, what caused my failure? Things like unplanned meetings and your kid's sports practice might appear. The second step to habit formation is wanting. Your environment influences your behavior a lot. You perform most actions, probably because of the objects you have in your immediate eyesight. You drink water because you have a water bottle nearby. Eat potato chips because you have them in a visible area in your kitchen. Work on your laptop because it's unlocked and on your desk. The trick here is to place items relating to your habit in your line of sight. If you want to drink more water, then place some water in a visible area in the kitchen. If you want to exercise more in the morning, put your gym sneakers and gym clothes in the living room when you sleep. Let's take a success story of a health professional. Dr. Anne Thorndike. She had a brilliant idea. Her idea was to change hospital cafeteria to make water more visible than soda drinks. After only 3 months, soda sales dropped more than 11%. Water sales, on the other hand, increased by 25.8%. They didn't have to say anything to anyone. No advertising or announcements made. The environmental change influenced people to make better decisions, automatically. One thing I didn't mention about my journey to start exercising again was that I didn't like exercise. I'm not even sure I do now. One big trick to staying consistent was to stack up habits. I took my habit of reading and created a habit of listening to audiobooks. I then listened to these audiobooks while exercising. That's an example of stacking up 3 habits. That makes taking on new habits much easier. The third step to habit formation is doing. There's a magic tool to use to create good habits. The tool is called the 2-minute rule. In brief, there are always actions you can perform in 2 minutes which can start the process of starting your habit. That packing gym sneakers when you sleep so you are encouraged to exercise takes at most 2 minutes. If you place a book on your bed when you go to work, so you read more books, will take at most 2 minutes. Remember the importance of starting small. If you want to read more books, don't set a goal of reading a book in 2 weeks. Rather, start by reading only 2 pages a day. Then, make this a habit. If you become 1% better every day, you will end up being 37 times better every year. So don't despise your small beginnings to habit formation. Also, don't fall into the trap of starting big when forming your formation. Start with walking, then you'll develop the stamina for jogging. Then you'll be running in no time, without the muscle pulls and ankle sprains. If you think of yourself as a successful person, developing success habits in that particular field will come a bit easier for you. Add as much detail as possible to the person you wish to become. This will help you to decide which habits to form. Focus on being someone, not on achieving things. I focused on being fit rather than being a gym fanatic. James Clear, the author, worded it perfectly. The most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. The fourth step to habit formation is liking. Human beings like repeating behaviors they like. That's a simple fact we all know. The trick here is that if you don't like a particular habit, then you should associate it with something you like. For example, if you want to learn how to play a piano, but don't like it, then you can reward yourself with 30 minutes of Netflix, only after practicing playing a piano for an hour. These rewards encourage you to take on new habits much easier. If you don't like cooking, but want to develop a habit of cooking frequently, you can reward yourself by eating dessert, only if you're eating food you've cooked. If you eat takeaways, then you don't get to have dessert. After I read the book, Deep Work, by Cal Newport, I went on to get a very difficult cloud certification in Microsoft Azure. This is because I slowly but eventually developed the habit of applying what I read. And I read what I like, not just random literature. So, in summary, here's what you need to do to become 1% better every day. Firstly, describe in detail the habit you want to develop. Secondly, change your environment to encourage you to start the habit. Third, take 2 minutes of action to start your habit. Fourth, reward yourself after performing your habit, daily. The last step to maintaining your habit is to associate your identity with the habit. Make friends out of people who have the same good habit. Tell people that you have that good habit. This will encourage you to maintain the habit.